Hi everyone, it says my desktop is now live, so we're going to go ahead and get started with today's coffee talk. I'm trying to figure out exactly where my presentation is. My apologies. Saying failed to execute send live command, so my apologies. Let me go ahead and try to pull it up again. There we go. Okay, that's good. That's what we like to see. Okay, so in the moment, it seems like only one screen is working at one time, unfortunately. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with my presentation. Hi, everyone. My name is Madison. I'm the marketing coordinator here at the Business Software Center. And what we're doing today is just showing you a brief introduction on how to use Microsoft Teams. Now, of course, I can't dive into everything immediately. We only have about 15 minutes to get through this, and I'm going to just give a brief introduction on why you should use Teams and then just kind of go over some basics on how to use it. So let me just go ahead and get my presentation started. Alrighty, so we're going to go move to the next slide. So why exactly should we use Teams? Let me just check and make sure that this is working. Yes, okay. Why should you use Teams? Well, Microsoft Teams comes with Microsoft 365, the subscription, so you're basically already paying for it if you are on Microsoft 365. Of course, with Microsoft, there's a lot of security features, so you don't have to really worry about data leaks or anything like that because it does come with the security features as well as like it's password protected, etc. Teams also is known for teamwork enhancement. Of course, it's a really good communication and collaboration tool. Of course, it also is more than just email, and it is really easy to use. You know, there's the chat windows, the scheduling, and the meetings, anything like that. And so basically, with Microsoft Teams, whenever you use it, it kind of reflects a lot of what Skype used to be. So if you're familiar with how Skype operates, Microsoft Teams is very similar. I'm sorry, I'm having a really difficult time sharing both screens. I want to be able to share my face, but it's not really working too well. Okay, let me just go ahead and continue on. With Microsoft Teams, there's also project management tools, so there's no need to switch between applications. You can really do it all in one. What's really nice is you can share live documents with other team members, and they can be edited in real time rather than saving constantly onto your desktop, sending it over to somebody else and wondering which version is the correct version. Of course, you are on the cloud with Microsoft Teams, so you can stay connected anywhere, use your mobile device as well. And the reason why you should choose Teams, of course, is because Skype for Business is being phased out. I believe the end of life for Skype for Business was July 31st. So that essentially means that they're no longer going to add any updates, new features to that. Instead, they're going to just focus on Microsoft Teams. And then finally, I do want to talk about the third-party application integration, which is really nice with Teams. This is special for applications like VoIP, you know, video and messaging. You can get that integrated directly into your Microsoft Teams. Say, for instance, you have calls that you want to do outside your organization with a client. You know, VoIP would be a really good app to integrate into Microsoft Teams. Here at the Business Software Center, we are partnered with Bigger Brains, and we use their application, part of our Smarter SaaS technology, just as an e-learning tool to help you better use your Microsoft 365 applications. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and dive into some findings that we had with some research that we've conducted. And we found that out of the 89% of organizations do not use their Microsoft 365 applications to the fullest. And so what that means is 43% of those 89% do not use Teams at all. That means they don't use the chat feature, the calling, the messaging, the meetings, anything like that. And that's really unfortunate, especially because this is something that you are paying for. And so with our Smarter SaaS tool, we can help kind of determine who's using what and really give you a good gauge on where you're installed, who's using what, and offer different ways of boosting your team's usage. And subsequently, this will help increase your return on investment. Microsoft really suggests you being 95% efficient or full usage with their products, and seeing that only, a measly 43% is using Teams, that's pretty sad. So we ask our customers questions like, okay, so why exactly aren't you using Teams? Is it because you're using Skype for Business? Is it because you're using a competitive product like Zoom or Google? We find that some businesses tend to pay for a Zoom or a Google Plus, and they don't really need to double pay if they have Teams already in their Microsoft subscriptions. So as I mentioned earlier, just about the competitors of Zoom and Google, Microsoft recognizes that they do have competitors, and so ever since lockdown and remote working became really abundant, Microsoft has made several different updates, and their goal is to continuously provide updates to better the user experience. So if you are on a Microsoft 365 subscription with Teams, you can always send your feedback to Microsoft, and hopefully your feedback is received, because we did notice a major change, especially during lockdown with Microsoft Teams. It now reflects a lot of what Zoom has as far as participants, the amount of participants that are allowed to go on video at the same time, etc. But I'm just going to review some of the updates that I found on my research for July 2021. There is an ability to auto record meetings. So say if you schedule a meeting, you can now click a button which will automatically record it for you. This is really a good feature because sometimes, when we jump into a meeting, typically we might forget to start the recording if we get lost in talking or discussing with our colleagues. Now, there is also adjusting mic sensitivity update. Microsoft Teams is pretty good at doing this automatically for you, but it makes it more of a unique experience when you can tailor the mic sensitivity on your own. There is a new notification style. This is just for MacBooks. With Macs, it's an integrated system that works directly with Mac notifications. So there's a new way of notifications. Spotlight multiple people in a meeting is now a new feature. So what that means is a host of the meeting can now allow more than one presenter be on the screen at one time. And what I find really funny is the amount of emojis has changed. It went from 85 emojis to now 800 emojis, and that includes stickers, GIFs, things like that. So when you want to go ahead and express yourself and you don't really have the words, or you're just giving like a quick response, you now have 800 emojis to pick from. So I think that's really interesting. And you can monitor your call quality during a meeting. So before, what you would have to do is kind of just log into Teams and maybe do an example, like change your settings to see what your call quality would be like. I'll review how to do that in a few seconds, but now you can actually check the call quality during the meeting, and this is really essential for people maybe with poor internet or slow internet connections. You can really check and see, am I lagging? Can they hear me? Can they see me, etc. So now I'm just going to go ahead and give an overview of Teams. So let me go ahead and stop sharing this screen, and I'm going to share my Teams screen here. Okay, hi everyone. So this is the preview screen for what you would see if you were doing a Teams live event, but I'm going to go ahead and get out of this just so we can review some of the basics of Teams. So I'm just going to start off with something that I find really essential to Teams is the settings. I feel like they hide the settings, and if you're not computer savvy, it might be hard to find exactly how do you make the adjustments that you need. I'm definitely the kind of person that likes to be in dark mode a lot. That means having a black background, just because this white is kind of hard on my eyes. So what you're going to do to just adjust some of the settings of your Teams is you're going to find your little icon in the corner. Right next to that are the three dots. You will go ahead and select those three dots, and then when you actually, Oh, I do apologize. I think my laptop is going a bit slow here. Okay, I'm not quite sure why that's not working. Let me go ahead and try to click something else. Okay, well, we'll just go ahead and start from creating a team. Let's see if we can create a team, and we'll work on the settings next time. So what we're going to do on the bottom left of the screen, it says join a create a team. Now this is essential to do whenever you want to start using Microsoft Teams. As you can see here, I have the TBSC team. So that's everybody in my organization. And then what we do is we break it down into channels here. And with these channels, you can specifically assign different members to your organization. So for instance, if you have a marketing department, it can be part of your team, but because not everyone needs to know what's going on in marketing, you can create a separate channel for that where only the marketing department can send documents and have private chats with each other. Same goes with general. We have a general team, which is everyone in our organization. And so we can send documents and chat in a general sense there, but you can really break it down and create your own teams, which is nice. So we'll just click the create teams button and you can just click from scratch, and you can decide whether you want it to be private or public. Honestly, sometimes it's just easier to do public because that means anyone in your organization can join. But of course, if maybe you're higher up in the company and you don't want information getting into the wrong hands, you can do the private and then have people need permission to join. So just for demonstrations, I'll click the public and you can give your team a name. So I'll just go ahead and do TBSC2. Or the Business Software Center. Now, of course, you can do a description. I'm not going to do it, but you could write something like, this is a place where we can share documents, have general conversations. This is where the overall business likes to meet, and you go ahead and create the team. All right, so our team is created. And then what you can do when the team is created is then start typing a member's name in the group, and you can go ahead and add them. So I'm just going to go ahead and add Phil. I'm sure you guys are familiar with who Phil is, and you can just decide whether he's a member or an owner of the group. Now, owners and members have two different roles. Owners have more functionality when it comes to managing the team channel, whereas a member doesn't manage the team channel at all and can't really share access with anybody else. So once you add a few members, you can go ahead and click close. And I just created my first team channel for the Business Software Center. And what I can do here now is create a new conversation. And what's really nice here is it even says start a new conversation or type @ to mention someone. So if I need to find Phil immediately and get his attention, I can start typing his name. And it should pop up like that. And I will just say hello to him. And there you go. So it will be able to pop up with him and his notifications. And you can see here we can use emojis to do really quick responses. We can click the reply button. We can even add documents, add GIFs, add stickers, add videos, etc. And then what's really nice here is you can go into the files section and upload different files. Now this is where you can store information, maybe some marketing materials for your business. You can click upload, you can click new, you can even download all of this as well. You can copy the link to the documents and share it amongst the people in your teams. There really is so much that you can do. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to see if I can do the settings again, like I was trying to do before. No, it doesn't seem to be working. Okay, I do apologize for that. But yeah, I would say because this session is only about 15 minutes long, I'm going to go ahead and stop for the moment and see if we have any questions. Okay, so I do have a few questions coming in, so let me go ahead and read them out loud. I am only learning about Outlook groups, which is a smarter version of Outlook. Do you think Outlook groups is better than Teams? What do you suggest we focus on training our team with? Okay, that's a really good question. So Outlook groups is different than Teams, but it is all, of course, offered with Microsoft. Now with Outlook groups, there's just slight variances. With Outlook groups, it's obviously accessed because of Outlook. And what's really nice with that is all calendars are synced up. So say, for instance, you're the secretary and you kind of need to know where your director is, what your director is doing. You will have access to his calendar because all the calendars are synced up through Outlook. But unfortunately, with Outlook groups, you do not have the ability to share live documents or even have private chats. All of the chats are public and open on Outlook groups. So I think it really matters. It depends on what your business needs are. If you're yeah, it really depends on your business needs and maybe your job title. But I mean, Teams works really well for me in my position as marketing coordinator. But like I said, if you're a secretary, perhaps Outlook groups might be better. I have another question coming in. It says, you said Skype is being phased out. When will that happen? Yes. So, I mean, it will still be around. You can still access the application. It's just they're no longer going to maintain Skype for Business. And so the end of life for that was July 31st, 2021. They're now just going to focus on Microsoft Teams and better improving the Teams experience. So yeah, okay. I'm trying to see if we have any other questions coming in. No, I do not. Okay, so at this time, I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream. Thank you so much for joining me. Of course, you can reach me at #CoffeeTalkTBSC on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or YouTube, or you can email me info@businesssoftwarecenter.com. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Check out our Eventbrite for our upcoming Coffee Talk events. Alrighty, bye.